Consideration, discussion.
I read that whole thing.
No.
That's why.
Consideration, discussion, and possible preview of ordinance blank is what it says. An ordinance granting to Public Service Company of Oklahoma. Trevor Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council Member. The city currently has 3 different franchise agreements with the utilities that serve our community. Those include Cox, O&G, and PSO. They're all coming up for renewal very, very quickly. These agreements are typically for a 25-year period. The current agreement with PSO expires on May 20th of 2023. And so franchise is basically just a permission, a license from the city to the utility companies to use our right-of-ways so that they can deliver the utility services that we all use here, both the city as a corporate consumer and also our citizens. And so city staff, at the direction of Mr. Spurgeon, has been in the process of negotiating the next franchise agreement with PSO, and that's what's before you for your consideration. It addresses and it provides a non-exclusive franchise, which is a use for PSO of our continuing use of our right-of-way to sell, operate their facilities to provide electricity to the community. In exchange, we're allowed under state law to collect a fee, which is a franchise fee, which comes from the gross receipts. That would be 2%. There's also an additional fee of 1% that we can designate for specific economic development purposes. There's also provisions in there for the city potentially purchasing the franchise if that's something that a body in the future wants to do under certain terms and conditions. And so the process for the approval or consideration of a franchise agreement, all the franchise agreements have to go to a vote of the people by state law. And so if the council approves the previewing of this ordinance, what would happen is we would have this ordinance considered by this body for final adoption at the next meeting on November the 14th, which is a Monday. I believe we have a Monday meeting instead of a Tuesday at the second meeting in November. And if that would be approved, it would be set for the February 14th, 2023, which is Valentine's Day,
Yes.
Special election. Accompanying this proposed ordinance would be a special resolution that would call for that special election as well. And so at this point, I'm happy to answer any specific questions that you might have about the proposed franchise agreement or the process that we have going forward. Like I said, again, you'll have an opportunity to consider this for final adoption at the next council meeting.
Okay. Any discussion?
Make a motion to set the preview the ordinance and set it for adoption.
Second? We have a motion and a second. Roll call. Thank you, Trevor.